Jay here for Stretford Paddock. That's Joe Smith. This is Paddock Live.
It's happening,
We're
Jay.
live, which means you lot got to get involved in all this, yeah? It is happening. We've got loads of stories to get through.
Transfers are actually beginning to take shape.
Absolute bangers on the transfer rumour.
It's actually kicking off, man.
We've got your Neymars, your Kanes.
I can't believe we're saying it.
Your Mounts.
I can believe it.
Yeah. Then you've got all your outgoings, of which there's about 37.
Yeah.
So we've got all that jazz. So we'll get into all that. The main thing, though, is you are getting involved. Let us know what you think about these stories, all these links. Do you believe them? Do you think they're rubbish? Do you think we're going to have the money to buy these players? Because we still don't know what is happening with the takeover. Let us know your thoughts. Loads of people in the chat already. Also, Dave Rowbottom has been a member of the Academy for 21 months. Says, best show on the internet.
Get it!
I love that honesty.
3 big stories have actually happened today.
Yeah.
We're talking your Ornsteins, your Guardians, your Romanos, your straight from the horse's mouth Ten Hags.
Yeah.
Things are actually happening,
Ten
Jay.
Hag's been causing a bit of intrigue,
He
hasn't he?
knows what he's doing, Jay.
Mate,
It's all right. Let's just start with Harry Kane, okay?
Yes.
Quick Kane bid. Sorry,
Right.
United.
Whoa. Take a breath. I can see you very excited. It's been a long time since we've had actual transfers, and now we're almost there. I can see it's getting you going. Yeah, a little bit of wee. I can see that.
Not that
There's nothing
little
wrong
bit,
with
actually.
it.
Quite a substantial
Nothing wrong with
amount.
it. Take a breath. Run us through this, brother.
Wout Weghorst.
Yes.
That's all I have to say. The last striker United linked with, Wout Weghorst.
Yes.
Before that, Ronaldo.
Trophy-winning Wout Weghorst.
Ronaldo, 37.
Okay.
Cavani, 33.
Yeah.
Igalo, 33.
Yeah.
Lukaku, less said the better.
Yeah.
Ibrahimovic, 35.
Yeah. There's a pattern emerging here.
Need I say more?
No, you didn't.
Harry Kane. United, this is from The Guardian today. United will attempt to smooth negotiations.
Right, I told you. Let's try again.
Jay,
Take the breath.
it's
Bro,
actually
it's
happening,
okay.
man.
It's all right.
It's happening.
I feel it, yeah? We're all giddy, yeah?
I said negotiations.
I know you did.
I know.
You said the first word wrong. You said quickly.
I said quickly.
So far, you've got seven words, whatever, into the sentence, and you've got 2 of them wrong.
Okay.
Right, including making up a word that doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, I can do better than that.
Right, come on. Take it away. We're doing this. Come on, I've faith in you.
Quick Kane bid. United will attempt to smooth negotiations with Spurs by bidding as quickly as possible for Kane. United are aware it will not be easy to convince Daniel Levy to let Kane leave Spurs. Levy is a notoriously tough negotiator. Is he? You're joking?
Yeah.
I've never heard about that. And there is a feeling that he may be prepared to keep Kane, even though the England captain's contract runs out next year. Ten Hag, this is the crucial bit, is said to be obsessed with Kane. Like a head teacher in the 50s.
Yes, love that.
United,
I was thinking something else, man.
yeah, corporal punishment. United will have been quoted United have been quoted 150 million euros for Osimhen, which would put the Nigerian out of their reach. The Guardian, relatively reliable, proper sources now.
Much more reliable than a lot of papers. So when they say things, you tend to sort of give it a little bit of weight. What do you reckon? Do you think there is some truth to this, some fire to this smoke?
I do. I don't think... there's been so many people saying that United are interested in Kane, that he's one of the options, that this shortlist has been put together, and we've talked about Osimhen and Kane for such a long time. I don't think that it's just made up sort of Twitter, Daily Express, Daily Star nonsense. I think there is something to this. I just think... We were chatting the other day, and when you try and think about what strikers there are just in the world that are remotely available, that are under the age of 33, that are a top-class striker, he is the only name on the list. It's Osimhen, who you could argue hasn't proven he's a top-class striker, is too expensive, and then it's Kane, and that is it. Do you know what I mean? All the other top strikers in the world are Lewandowski, 34, Benzema, 34, Haaland just signed for City, not going anywhere. Like, who are the other top strikers in the world?
No,
That's it.
The only other one...
Mbappe, 20, not happening. Come on, let's be honest. Like,
and we were linked with a kid from Juve, weren't we? But he's not been that
Vlahovic.
great. Yeah,
he's been pretty good, but they are willing to sell him. It's not
I know he's had a good season, but he's not been like, right, that's it, we've got to go out and get him.
No.
I feel like those sort of rumours have died down a little bit.
Yeah.
I know he's obviously still scoring goals and stuff, but it's just a bit like...
He's putting sort of Belotti numbers together.
Yeah, it's not like you're going, oh, we've got to get him, he'll come into the Premier League, he'll smash it, he'll help us catch City. With this guy, there is a feeling of that, and me and you did a debate a little while ago. where it was Osimhen or Kane. I went with Osimhen. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. If it doesn't, we have to get Kane.
Yeah.
Really and truly. I hate saying this about a player because it's like, well, if we don't get him, what does that mean? But I think if we don't get a goal scorer, I can't see us challenging City next season.
No.
And it is going to be them for the title again.
Yeah, and Ten Hag knows that. Everyone knows that. You'd have to be stupid not to see that. Like we haven't got a number 9 that scored any goals.
No.
You need one of those, and Kane is so obvious, such a good option. And I think this thing of going early and trying to get him quickly is so crucial because last season, Casemiro didn't have a pre-season, Eriksen didn't have a proper pre-season, Anthony didn't have a pre-season. Like I don't think Lisandro Martinez had a pre-season either, or maybe he did. He was the only one that did, I think, wasn't he? But like most of our signings didn't have a proper pre-season for United. We need Kane to get that. If we want to step on and push on next season, not just getting the players in, but getting them integrated before it's a game every other week. 2 games a week. That is going to be so crucial to that. So we need to get these players in early, and I think this feels in line with what Ten Hag would want to do, which is hurry up, get these bids in, find out what the lay of the land is, and get it sorted hopefully before the start of the tour in the 22nd of July.
Yeah, 100%. Get involved in the chat and the comments. Ravinder Ratu, or Balvinder Ratu, says Kane and Neymar don't know about Mount. BC Max says Mount bang average. We're going to get into that.
Yeah.
Sprite says Casado over Mount any day. There's a lot of people talking about Mount. Chris R says evening Jay and Joe. UTFP hashtag lays out. Hopefully beat Chelsea tomorrow. Would be a great birthday present for me. Happy birthday for tomorrow. Dunny079 says Gonzalo Ramos.
No,
not for you.
I'm just not proven enough. He seems to be a decent striker, but I don't think we've got time to wait. Obviously, we need to think for the future as well, but we need players who are going to score plenty next season, I think.
Sheet Game has done a super chat. I don't think there's anything on it.
Done a super chat.
Should
we talk about Mason Mount?
Yeah, go on then.
Because this is another one that's come out today, and this is one that's sort of exploded onto the scene. So it's Mason Mount. We're talking about bids or rumoured bids anywhere between 55 and 80 million. We'll get to that.
Wet.
This is coming from David Ornstein. This is coming out from Fabrizio Romano. This is pretty much everyone. So Ten Hag Mount's bid, or is looking to. Manchester United are launching a £55 million swoop for Chelsea forward Mason Mount. Mount is entering the final year of his contract at Chelsea, with his future under increasing uncertainty. United want to pay in the region of £55 million for Mount, which falls below Chelsea's, we'll get to this, £85 million valuation.
Christ.
David Ornstein, obviously, I would say the single most reliable transfer journalist on the planet, basically.
Yeah, I think he's usurped Romano, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and I mean, obviously, I think they're both excellent, but Ornstein almost feels like he's the kind of the golden goose at the minute, doesn't he? Whatever he says is just absolute gold. Mason Mount leaning towards joining Manchester United if Chelsea agree to sell. Talks expected between the clubs in due course, and this is good as well. Other sides who have been pursuing the 24-year-old are aware of his preference, so it seems as though this is no secret then. Within these circles, obviously, a journalist knows in David Ornstein. He's saying that other clubs know that Mason Mount would prefer to join United, if anyone. Firstly, 55 million. What do you make of him as a player for a potential 55 million quid? And then let's get on afterwards to the 85 million as well, because they're two very different things. What do you think of Mason Mount?
He's not the one that excites me the most. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to pretend that. Me and Steve did a video on his channel, and Steve was like advocating for him, sort of talking about his numbers over the last few years, not necessarily this year, saying how he thinks he'd be a good addition to the squad.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit underwhelmed. I'm like, he's all right.
Yeah.
He's not someone I'd be like, we need to get Mason Mount. Oh, if we could get Mason Mount, he'd be the final piece in the puzzle. I still don't think he starts if everyone's fit. I don't. I think, okay, he might go, well, Eriksen's getting on a bit. When Eriksen's, in a year or two, whatever, or when Eriksen needs resting, Mount comes in. I agree with that. I just feel that he's not a player for me who comes into your first 11. He's also, I know Chelsea have had a bad season, but so has he. Can't ignore that. It's not just like, well, everyone at Chelsea has. Well, yeah, well, why? Why is he not shining and showing that he's still got something about him? When we had a bad season under Rangnick, Ronaldo's still banging in goals. There's still players that, I'm not saying he's as good as Ronaldo, but you can still shine in a crap team. And he's not really done that. I just feel like it'd be one of those, okay, if he was on a free or on the loan or whatever, I might be up for it 55 or maybe 85 million quid, because we're going to have a set amount of money. Let's say we've got 200 million pound and you're going to spend 85 of it on Mason Mount. That's insane.
Yeah.
If you buy Kim Min-jae, then you've got what? I don't know, I can't do the maths. You've got about 60 million quid left or whatever.
Something like that, 75. Yeah,
what?
I know.
So you're going to get Kim Min-jae, Mason Mount, and then Rabiot, and that's it.
Yeah.
Or you know, maybe you bring in another sort of midfielder or another attacker who's up and coming or whatever. I just feel like it's too much that for me. Yeah. And plus, Chelsea aren't one of those clubs like they're desperate to sell. So they could say, no, we're not going to sell him for anything less than that. And there's a whole English tax. How old is he? 24?
Yeah.
So he's still quite young. Other clubs are interested. They might say, no, we're not going to let him go. Let's say they say 75.
Yeah.
75 million quid for Mason Mount is a lot of money for me.
Do you know,
the only sort of one thing I'll end on is I do have faith that Ten Hag can get the best out of certain players. Rashford had a stinker the season before Ten Hag was working with him. Ditto Luke Shaw, to a lesser degree in terms of improvement, Scott McTominay as well. So maybe he can, if he really rates Mason Mount, he sees something in him, he can get something out of him. But as it stands for me, I'm not that keen.
If Mason Mount played for Man United, and we were trying to sell him this summer, we would get 30 million quid for him.
I know we would.
Genuinely,
yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'm not even meaning that really as a diss to him, but like how are they expecting 85 million quid for him? A player that's like good-ish, but I think he's good, and I think he's got some traits that we don't have. I think he's a better player than Scott McTominay. I think he's, I know they're not quite the same style of play, but just in terms of overall quality, I think he's a more quality player than Fred or McTominay. And if you're looking at, you know, maybe Eriksen, as even though I think he's probably more productive, Christian Eriksen, than Mason Mount this season, definitely in terms of assists. Longer term, Christian Eriksen isn't going to be here for 6, 7, 8, 9 years. Mason Mount could be. But it's just, is he good enough? Is he good enough to challenge for a Champions League or a Premier League in the next 2 seasons? I mean, I'm not sure.
He's missed a lot of games for injury.
Yeah.
To be fair to the kid. But, I mean, he's not got a goal or an assist since December. So, you're buying a player that's out of form and has missed a lot of football recently.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he has had much more productive seasons than the one he's currently having.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just feels to me, it's a bit like he's all right, but we need a bit more than that. He did have obviously a good season a couple of seasons ago when he won the Champions League, and last season was everyone's got it last season. Sorry, Bowman, was better, but he's not. I don't know. It just feels to me like a bit of a sideways move. Like you're getting another squad player who's going to come in. Last season was much better. 11 goals and 10 assists in the Premier League in 32 appearances. That's good numbers.
I'll take
that. So maybe Ten Hag looks at it and goes, look, this season is a bit of a stinker. I can get him back to the levels we saw when he was playing under Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah.
And obviously the season before that was the season he won the Champions League as well. And again, his numbers were all right, but he had a successful season because they obviously won the Champions League. Yeah. 6 goals, 6 assists in the Premier League. He's not someone that excites me. Maybe I'm being a little bit judgmental as well because I don't really like him when we play against Chelsea.
Yeah,
he just comes across as a right little snivelling little Tory. And like kicking off a Martinez and like, what are you doing? You'd absolutely get mullered. Get a grip.
I do feel like if we sign him, I will focus on the positives and I will find a reason to like him because I like.
Yeah, we always
like
back the play. I hate that. Like I get that. Yeah. I hate the idea of if people. I've seen this before. Like, if we sign him, I'll never warm to him. Well, you do. You get behind him. Yeah, you give everyone a chance.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter who they are. We've signed players from Leeds and we gave them a chance. You know what? They were mint.
Yeah.
The greatest player, one of the greatest players I've ever seen, Eric Cantona came from Leeds. You don't go, oh, why have we got him? I don't rate him. Can't get. No, we get behind him. If they don't work out, then you might question it.
Yeah, I just worry that does he have that real high end, sort of elite potential? Could he be a real top player? He's never going to be a Kevin De Bruyne, I don't think. But could he be a sort of Odegaard or Gundogan or that sort of level player? Do you know? I mean, not quite the top, but just below that.
There is a point. There is an argument here as well. If players do improve and can improve. Yeah. If they get in the right system, they get the right manager. And let's face facts, Frank Lampard was not going to improve anyone. Yeah. Graham Potter, it just didn't really happen for him there. Maybe if he'd have had a bit more time with Tuchel, he could have kicked on. He could still kick on.
Yes.
We've seen players who, at 23, 24, look like they're at a certain level and then just raise it.
Well, look at Akanji this season.
Yeah.
Was sort of
great example.
In and out of Dortmund's team. Was he 26, 27 when they signed him? You're looking at a sort of good rotation option. He's played almost every game from this season and been excellent. Like
Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, exactly.
Bruno Fernandes was what, 24 when we signed him?
26, I think. 25, sorry, 25.
Right. Yeah. Was good, obviously, but he wasn't like, we got him for about 50 million quid. That, Everton paid that for Gylfi Sigurdsson.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't need to go into what happened with him, but
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was 80, 90 million like Paul Pogba numbers and costs. And he went berserk when he got to United.
Yeah.
His numbers were record-breaking, and he's been, for me, easily our best signing post-Fergie.
Yeah.
So there's every chance that this kid can kick on. And especially with a manager like Eric Ten Hag who likes to coach players, it's just, if you're asking me now, I'm not that keen.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to be proven wrong. Paul Cushing in the Super Chat says, well, back in Europe, Jay, you must be doing cartwheels inside. I am, but there's still a little part of me that hopes he leaves Brighton and comes back to Manchester
Did that finish
United.
1-1, by the way?
Hojlund 86, who's been a member of the first team 5 months, says, Jay, we don't buy Tories.
Interesting.
Thank you. Should we move on?
Yes.
Go on, what's next on the agenda?
Neymar. Just when you thought it was raining transfers here at Manchester United, Neymar's on the list now, Jay.
Neymar, yeah, the Brazilian himself. Go on, talk us through this story then.
Before we get to that, earlier in the week, I think it was L'Equipe, wasn't it, in France? L'Equipe. Saying Man United are interested in Neymar and will be going after Neymar for potential loan in the summer. Then, in his press conference today, Ten Hag was asked about it. I think it was Melissa Reddy, wasn't it, from Sky who asked him?
Yeah.
And he basically said, well, we'll get into it, it says it here. Neymar's future is uncertain after another early Champions League ejection, and the Qatari Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani's interest in buying Manchester United has sparked links between the club and Neymar. PSG are owned by Qatar Sports Investment, and it has been suggested a Qatari takeover of United would lead to a marquee signing. The 31-year-old is under contract until 2025. When Ten Hag, and this is the crucial bit, was asked about Neymar, he replied, "When we have news, we will tell you." What does that mean? Because
it means one of two things. It means it's a pretty bog standard answer I'm going to give about any player we're linked with. When I've got news, I'll tell you. Or it means there's something happening here, but there's no developments yet. When there is developments, or when there are developments, I'll tell you. So I know that's literally the opposite. So it means something or nothing, but that's what it must be.
What do you think he means?
I personally think he's just being like, there isn't anything there. He's just being a bit sort of, when I've got transfer news, I'll tell you. Or when I've got news on anything, I'll tell you. I don't think he's thinking Neymar is going to come, or I'm trying to get Neymar. That's my take on it. I do get it. It's slightly ambiguous. It's not a hard no. It's not a we're not getting him, and it's open to interpretation. And Eric Ten Hag's a clever guy. Yeah. He might know that. Don't give me any tosh up. He's broken English or anything. He speaks English better than me and you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's too vague to be able to go, this is it.
Well, that's
there is something going on with Neymar.
He knows that he's being vague. But
maybe it's even. I mean, I might be getting ahead of myself. He doesn't know who the new owners are going to be. So maybe it's even that. Maybe he's even thinking, listen, if Qatar come in, there's every chance we can be getting players like this, and that might happen. But I don't know if they are. I don't know. It seems a little bit too flaky to to stick your flag in it. Yeah. If I can mix my metaphors.
I just think that if someone said to him, Messi's contract is running out of PSG, it looks like he wants to leave, would United be interested in Messi? I don't think he says that. I think he goes, oh no, he's a great player, but that's not something that's going to happen, or I hope respect wherever he goes. I don't think he says, when we have news, we will tell you. And I don't know, and I get your point, and to a large extent I agree. It's obviously that isn't him saying we're going after Neymar. It just isn't. But part of me does think like it could happen, and no one in the world, and people, as much as people, and we say this every year, as much as people say, why would Neymar come to United? United aren't going to sign anyone like Neymar. No club in the world, and name me one that does, signs more big names in the last 5 or 6 years than Man United, or last decade than Man United. Like pre-established big world names. Di Maria, Falcao, Lukaku, Pogba, Ronaldo, Cavani, Varane, Zlatan. No one has done more than that. More of that than us.
Us signing Ronaldo was a bigger deal than if he came.
Yeah.
Us signing Ronaldo was literally one of the. It was considered still at that time one of the 2 best players or one of the 3 best players on the planet. Yeah. His last real sort of big move in terms of football, I know he's had a big money move to Saudi, and he comes back to United. Yeah. That was the biggest transfer deal in recent memory.
That
was huge.
The only club who does that as much as United, by the way, is PSG.
Yeah. PSG, because they do like Ramos, Donnarumma, Messi,
Mbappe, Neymar.
They do that all the time.
But other than them, it's literally United. Like Real Madrid spend plenty of money, but they spend it on players like Mendy and Tchouaméni and Camavinga and Vinicius Junior, players who at the time were relatively young, unknown, highly rated, but not huge world stars. Even Man City, Hojlund is the first superstar they've ever bought.
Yeah.
Like no one, if he's going to go anywhere, I think United would be as likely a destination as anyone. And part of me thinks, I hope not, because it feels as though it's a return back to the sort of Woodward era of transfers, where it's who's the biggest name, who's the most impressions on Twitter, who sells the most shirts, rather than who's going to win us the most games. Because he gets injured for half the season. He hasn't played a 40-game season since 2017.
Jesus wept.
6 years ago was the last time he played 40 games in a season. He's injured all the time. He's known for his sort of theatrics. There's rumours that have been growing for almost 4 or 5 years now that he's sort of fallen out of love with football, and he's become almost too big for football. He's basically a god in Brazil, and he doesn't really need to sort of try hard, get injured and get hurt for the sake of a career and a legacy that is already established. That all of those things worry me, but that doesn't mean United wouldn't go for him.
Yeah.
So I could see it. I genuinely could see it.
It just feels like we've been here before.
Yeah.
Like with the players you mentioned, we've been here before. I mean, Ronaldo was his biggest story. Cavani isn't quite as big, but Cavani was one of the most prolific goal scorers in Europe in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
When we got him, he's still a big player. Zlatan was Zlatan.
Yeah.
Like he was genuinely one of the biggest stars in the world.
Yeah.
Still had a lot of gas left in the tank. Mm-hmm. Him coming to United was huge.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out. And some of the others, like Galo and Weghorst, obviously completely different players. I'm not comparing them. It's just their age that's the only sort of similar thing. My worry is like you say, the injury record. He's not going to come and stop being injured because he's playing in the Premier League.
No.
That's not going to happen. No. He's not going to get kicked less than he is in France. Now he's in the Premier League. Also, his enthusiasm isn't going to, I don't think, suddenly going to sort of amplify now he's got to Manchester United.
No.
It might do, but I think you're kidding yourself. So there's a lot of worries there. And you've got the added part as well. He's going to be on huge money. So it could be like another. One player we didn't mention. You can almost throw in that bucket, bracket. Sorry,
throw in a bucket.
Throw in a bucket. Yeah, I wish we could have done. He was terrible. Alexis Sanchez, 30 years old or whatever he was, just almost 30. Came on massive money, big reputation, one of the biggest stars in the world. Been at Barcelona. We got him from Arsenal. City wanted him. It looked tailor-made to come in and do bits, and he was woeful.
Yeah.
So I've said this before with Neymar. I said it on my news the other day. If we got Neymar, I would be one of those you go, okay, I'll get on board with it.
Yeah.
But standing out, I'm not too keen. Do you think we'll get him? Do you honestly think we'll get him?
I think we probably won't, but I don't think it's like... I would probably say like 75-25 no. Like I think there's a chunky chance we could. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's more than likely we won't. Mostly because we don't really need... He's sort of a number 10 that kind of goes in from the left. I don't think we need that. We've got our two best players are our number 10 and our left-sided winger. Like that's literally, maybe you could add Martinez and Varane in there, but certainly in the forward areas, Bruno Fernandes has created more chances than anyone in certainly the Premier League, I think in Europe this season. And Marcus Rashford is, again, I think the most prolific or up there as the most prolific winger in the world. So it's not really a position we need, but like I said, it's Man United and it's the sort of player that I could see us maybe going for.
Really?
Yeah, maybe. If he's available. We sort of do, don't we, sometimes?
We do.
If he's on like 700, 800 grand a week as well, it could be a disaster, that signing. It could be, they're the sort of signings that can end a manager. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not blaming Ronaldo for Solskjaer leaving. I think but I don't think it's a coincidence that once you get in those big boys, you get Ronaldo, you get Varane, you get your big money signing in Sancho, you've got to be better than last season now. And when he wasn't, that was the end.
Yeah.
I think if you get in Neymar, you get in Kane, you get in... we'll get onto him, but a midfielder as well. if you aren't better than last season, let's say we win a trophy. If you're not better immediately, it's, we've given you everything you needed. You can't get better.
No,
these are the sorts of signings that can make or break a manager. So we've got to be very careful, I think.
Yeah, we have got to be very careful. Listen, it's Neymar. It's one of the greatest players in the world. It is. It's like you said, although sort of the reputation, the fact he has won pretty much everything at club level anyway, when he was at Barcelona. He's not really done the sort of the business at PSG, although they've obviously won lots of Ligue 1 titles. They got to one Champions League final and none of them really turned up. And I think they've been a disappointment on that stage. It's kind of gone a little bit sour as well with Brazil. Didn't have a great World Cup as a team, did they? No. So maybe, I don't know, it's weird, isn't it? Because it's Neymar, wow. But then there's the thing of, is this not a Woodward signing? Is this not a big name signing that doesn't really fit into what we're trying to do? I'm not so sure. I'm going to go through some of the comments. Let us know what you think. Do you think we should get him or we will get him? Shanlon, I've already had that. Sultan says Mickey Mount is him. Kane Mount is going to be scary, but not for us, 100% fire emoji. Bruno Fernandes, who's been a member of the academy for 17 months, says wages and his injury record probably makes it too impractical, but as a football player, he's on another planet, and if Ten Hag wants him, then do it. That's a good point. Robin Teese says Neymar Jr., the dribble king with Bruno Fernandes, the most creative midfielder, could be awesome. Casemiro will set him straight. Holly Jenkins even says, happy birthday, King Sir Eric of Manchester Cantona. Yeah, happy birthday to Eric Cantona.
You know when you read that and it says about like Bruno and Neymar, and then Casemiro behind him.
Yeah.
Part of me likes that. Like imagine even Rashford, let alone Harry Kane, with Bruno Fernandes and Neymar setting you up every week.
Yeah.
You can't help but score 30 goals. I'd score
2.
None.
Yeah, none.
But my
I
word
think Will Vegas has proven to all of us that, that thing where you go, I could get a goal for you. I could get a goal in the Premier League. No, you couldn't. Like, you genuinely couldn't. Like, you could play 100 games and not score any.
I think, Kane and Neymar in the same team. That's quite nice, actually, Jay.
Karim Kenawi says, I love how Jay tries to pronounce words in French. Le Quip and Ligue 1 and ends up butchering both, laughing emoji. Much love though. I hate that. I hate the fact to sound like I'm some sort of EDL member when I'm trying to pronounce foreign. You know what? I shouldn't promote the EDL, sorry. Other right-wing morons are available. We'll move on swiftly. Next story.
Onana.
That's his name. Yes, Skayman. That is the producer, Skaydog, who's on my chant. Well, it's not been on mine. It's probably already been sung. Do you not like that? That's his name.
It's Onana, but not Onana.
I'm going to be in the TRA singing that when he signs for us.
You won't be in it for long, let me tell you.
There'll be you fan channel knobhead. You're lucky to be in it anyway. Get out.
Everton are planning to sell Amadou Onana for
Whoa! For how much? We need to be careful. We're going to break you.
For how much money, Jay?
These transfer stories are going to push you up.
Everton are planning to sell Amadou Onana for 60 million to kickstart this summer window. Oh, good for you. Why don't you plan to sell him for 200 fucking million then? And that'll really give you a lot of money to spend. What? Everton have no money to spend on signings. Yeah, that's what they want.
Tactic.
Do you think? I wonder why. Yeah. Maybe that's why they want 60 million for a player who's worth 8 million.
Yeah.
Everton are confident they could land a huge fee. Sorry, Everton are confident.
Everton are confident could land. All right, something's wrong there.
Everton are confident one player that could land a huge fee is Onana, who signed from Lille for a reported 33 million. I didn't know they spent that much on him last summer. The 21-year-old has made a strong impression in a struggling team, and the Merseysiders believe his value nearly doubled since then. Man United are among the clubs keeping tabs on Onana, and he is also of interest to other Premier League teams. I think he is quite technically limited.
Okay.
From what I've seen of him,
Isn't there? Was it? Oh, no. Which was the lad at Everton that had a fight with Harry Kane?
I don't even know.
Not a fight. He was the lad that got sent off with Harry Kane.
Google it.
I'm so glad that I'm getting an absolute blank response from everyone.
Lucky they've got 2 fucking computers that they're sat behind and you're the one Googling it.
I'll do it.
I think Onana couldn't be...
Oh, it's Decore, not Onana, sorry.
Couldn't be worth 60 million in a million years. Yeah. I think that's a ridiculous fee.
I got confused.
There is no way that his performances this season have doubled his transfer value from last season. it's just shit. I would be really disappointed if.
Do you know what you could do with Everton?
What?
You could do some deals with them. I think we've got players they'd have. Like I know they're Ghana, didn't they?
Tomine.
Yeah, I know there's rumours of him going to Newcastle. If they stay up, if they get relegated, then you're in trouble. But maybe even the likes of, maybe there was linked with Elanga, wasn't there, not long ago? Maybe an Elanga or a Maguire, someone who just, Brandon Williams, some players you don't want. And you go, look, we're not going to give you 60 million. Why don't we give you 30 million and this player or some, I think there could be a deal there because I think there's a lot of players that don't start for United that would get in Everton's team whether they stay up or not. If they stay up, it's better because then you can, because somebody's not going to go to the Championship, for example.
No.
But he probably will go to somewhere like Everton.
What are people's thoughts on him? Am I alone in thinking that he's massively
one-dimensional? Yeah, thank you. Everyone's got in there saying Decore. Sorry, I couldn't remember which one. That's why I didn't want to say because I thought I'm getting him mixed up here. Key Buckley says he's a dog who wins you the ball back and then gives it straight away. Onana is the least agile, least mobile CDM you can get because he's a lamppost, says Omar Jets.
That's kind of what I saw from him.
Oh no, Stephen Holmes says get Calvert-Lewin out of them. Bro, that kid is injured. He makes Martial look fit. Yeah. He is proper injured. They've been looking at how he sleeps, the bed he uses, the car he drives, the food he eats. Honestly, I know that sounds ridiculous.
He sleeps in his pantry and a load of
that's what they said.
Soup.
Do you remember when Sean Dyche said we're looking at how he sleeps, we're looking at how he sits, the car he drives, we're looking at why he keeps getting injured. Like they think there's something about his lifestyle with Calvert-Lewin that is just causing these injuries or exacerbating it.
Really?
I mean, I've never heard a manager say things like that.
No.
And that's what they were saying because they just can't work out how to keep him fit. So I would not touch Dominic Calvert-Lewin at all.
Like everyone else, at the end of training, he walks to the car park, gets in his cannon, and gets fired back into his back garden.
He sleeps on a bed of fire and glass.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
What's wrong with that?
Someone made a good point here.
Go on.
That if I can find it, Prabhav Kandawale or Kandawal says sell them back Donny.
McDonald's.
Van de Beek.
Oh, sorry, back door. Yeah. How much? I don't know. I don't want him. Again, if we sign
do you know what happens?
I'll find a reason to like him.
Do you know what happens? Because he's like a midfielder and he's young and he's a bit of a CDM. People are like, get him.
Yeah.
Get him. Right. Giving them Ghana for 10 million and getting him for 60 million would be the most ridiculous transfer in the history of Manchester United. If doing it that way. Because you've got a player who might be good enough for you, but you're not going to give him any chance, you're going to give him away basically. And you've got a player who probably isn't good enough for you, but you're going to spend 60 million quid on him.
Yeah.
That is insane.
I think as well, we've realised with Casemiro, someone who just wins it back and plays it to the person next to him isn't enough. None of the top teams have got someone who just goes ball, win, pass. Casemiro wins the ball back, is dogged off the ball, his position is incredible, defensively he's elite, and his passing is brilliant. Look at Rodri at City. He wins the ball back and his passing is elite. You can't just be someone who just goes ball, pass, because when he gets pressed and closed down in a big game, he wins the ball back and he just loses it again. You can't have a midfield part of your midfield that isn't comfortable on the ball, and I just don't think he's comfortable enough on the ball. Sort of Fred-esque.
Yeah, I agree. Dave P said Tarkovsky maybe as a backup gets stuck in and is a United fan. Yeah, we've talked about it because we had an interview with him before upstairs, didn't we? And I was like, he sounds mank. Yeah, he is, but I don't know these are the levels we need, to be honest with you. I don't really think he is. BMW Racing 1974 says still think we should get Gail Platt. I presume he's talking about Luka Modric there. Rapinder Athwal says I love Jay and Joe's dulcet tones just before bedtime. Thank you, you little minx. Right, next one.
United interested in Rabiot.
Oh, hello. Is this summer 2022 again? We're interested in Rabiot. Is Richard Arnold or John Murtagh going to fly to France or wherever he went to go meet Veronique or whatever her name is, his mum? Yes. And are we going to buy Casemiro instead? Go on, talk us through it. Thanks.
United are still keen on signing Adrien Rabiot despite failing to do so last year. Well, we couldn't sign him if we had done, could we? Fucking hell. Imagine that. United are keen on signing Casemiro again despite signing him last year. We couldn't sign him if we had. Fucking hell. It's crucial that we didn't sign him last year.
This second sentence.
Yeah.
It's despited for starters. What's this? Despited? I hate when I'm despited. Why are you always despiting me?
Despite failing to do so last year.
That's like, do they think like proper thick people read that top line and need it qualifying for him? They go, United still keen on
Wait, no, we signed him last year, Jay.
Well, we signed United.
We failed to sign him last year. Sorry, my mistake.
I've just been imagining him playing for United since August.
Yeah.
Silly me. I need to go and take my tablets.
Yeah, so despite failing to sign him last year, Fabrizio Romano has tweeted, Manchester United are still interested in Adrian Rabiot after talks collapsed last summer. Appreciated by Ten Hag. Nothing advanced yet, as there are many clubs in the race. Bayern like him, and the timing depends on club sale. Juve offered him new deal, but still unlikely. Rabiot is set to be available on a free transfer. That is a much more sensible signing to me than 60 million on Onana. I know they're not the same type of player really. Rabiot is more he's not the sort of defensive win it back tackle kind of guy, but he's very physical, he's big, I think he's 6'3", so he offers a presence in there in a similar way to sort of Scott McTominay, but I think he's technically more gifted. And I also think, I know this isn't a quality you can write on a FIFA card, but I think the fact that he's a very confident and I don't want to say star quality because I don't think he's got that, but he's been around, he's won trophies. He won trophies at PSG. I think he's won trophies at Juve as well. Like, he's just someone that has got a bit more of a star quality and a size to his name and to his stature. I don't think he would be overawed by pushing for a title. I don't think he'd be overawed in a cup final. I think he's, you know what I mean? He's just got more about him as a man because of what he's done in the past than some of the players where I think we need people. We saw how important it is with Casemiro and Varane, and he's not on that level in terms of anything. But he's got a bit more of that than some of the players we're being linked to.
I've got a question for you.
Go.
I want a one-word answer. If you get it wrong, I'm going to spit on you. Alright?
Yeah, I'll agree to that.
Right. Rabiot or Sabitzer?
I don't like that he's got a mouthful of water. Rabiot or Sabitzer? Can I take my t-shirt off? For me, Rabiot. Oh,
I'll give it up.
I got so scared.
I like Sabitzer, but he had to pass the audition, and it's not his fault.
Yeah.
He was okay, and he got that injury, and I think it's knackered him for his chance of staying at United permanently. If it was up to me, I'd probably have him, but I think that what's gone on, he's not cemented a place in United's team, and I think having that injury, it's just great. Another Donny van der Beek, we got him in, he's injured, I can't rely on him. Rabiot, he obviously likes him, he wanted him, he's available on a free, so you'd have to pay to get Sabitzer. Get this kid on a free, it makes sense, and I'll slightly contradict myself here, but I'll be honest, you don't buy players based off a World Cup, I get that, but he did impress me in the World Cup, I'm not going to lie. When I watched him, I thought, he's actually better than I thought he was. His record speaks for itself, and also, me and you said this about a year or two ago, there's certain players that, they come into United, and they do bits, and you watch them, you think, we've been starved in our midfield. Like, we've been, like, Sabitzer when he first came, that first game I think was against Palace, whatever it was. Like, wow, look at him on the ball, he's sick. Because you're not that used to it.
No.
Eriksen shot. Casemiro, I know these are great players. Casemiro shot. I think someone like him comes in, you think, actually, he's better than what we've been watching in terms of the likes of McTominay and Fred, and to a lesser degree, Donny van der Beek. So I think he would be a decent signing for us. And a free, the reason I like the free transfer.
Have you seen what these two little weasels have done?
Go on.
Why is despited not on the screen anymore?
Despited was my favourite word.
So now they just fixed it, look.
Yeah, also as well, because he's free, that gives us more money to spend on Onana, which is what we both want.
Yes, please.
Let's have a look what people are saying. Would you have Sabitzer or Rabiot? Ramo says Rabiot is younger. Key Buckley says Sabitzer is flat-footed. Chris Lee says Rabiot brings drama. Football Robinson says Rabbit on free I would take instead of Sabitzer. Rabbit. Come on, Rabbit.
Rabbit on free.
Rabbit on free. Right?
That's you stumbling into a Michelin star restaurant, isn't it? After turning back to the
ground racing.
Rabbit on free. Rabbit on free.
No, you idiot. It's the dogs that chase the
Nah, I want to bet on the rabbit. It wins every time. Every time I've watched it, the fucking rabbit finishes first.
Get your hands off me. Right, what's next? What's next?
Rabbit.
Right. I love that. I ain't got time to put any over this word. Rabbit on free. Rabbit on free.
I need him now just because he's called Rabbit.
Rabbit on free, get him in.
United interested in Rabbit.
Yes,
United, Hojlund. United are interested in 20-year-old Atalanta striker Rasmus Hojlund. Hojlund, I've said it too many times, would be seen as one for the future if he moves to United this summer. Hojlund has contributed 15 goals and 6 assists in 40 appearances for Atalanta this season. However, in recent months has dropped off with just 1 goal in his last 7 Serie A appearances. Earlier this season, he spoke of his love for United. Now that you ask, I will not hide the fact that I'm a huge Manchester United fan. So, personally, it would be one of those biggest things for me to sign for United, and that's from The Guardian. Obviously interested. How old is this boy? 20. Thoughts?
Yeah, he seems to fit the bill. You mentioned it earlier. If we get Kane, we need someone else. I've said we got 2 strikers in the summer, and saying it. And you said, one of those strikers, I like the fact you were honest, you didn't name him, you went, there's a player out there who's probably young, up and coming, who our scouting department, who are paid lots of money and are meant to scout players last time I checked, can find, like an Alvarez, like that type of player. I know they don't grow on trees, but they're out there. This kid kind of fits that bill. He doesn't come in and start for you. He comes in alongside a Harry Kane. Because for me, you cannot rely on Anthony Martial to be backup striker. Your backup striker should be able to play 40 games a season. If you think Anthony Martial can still play 40 games a season and be reliable, I've got some magic beans to sell you. I just don't think that's going to happen. This kid comes in, plays like he's done it at Atlanta this season, 40 games, 15 goals and 6 assists. If he was to do that at United, 40 games across all competitions, 15 goals and 6 assists, we'd be happy.
I'd bat you on
21 goal contributions, boom, we'll have a bit of that.
Amazing.
That's almost Marcus numbers. So get him in, get Kane in, get Rabbit in, get
Rabbit on free.
Get Rabbit on free. Get get Neymar if you want him. I don't care anymore. Just get them all. Just fucking sign loads of players. Fuck it.
There's going to be loads of updates though, Jay, because we're starting to see these. What I think are the sort of the true names of the summer now. I think Kane. These rumours are here to stay. Mount, Ornstein, Romano, these rumours are here to stay. I think the Rabiot thing will sort of go on and on as well. So as long as we, not as long as we will be bringing you every single step of the way. So make sure you stay tuned to Stretford Paddock. My name has been Joe. This is Jay. Hit like, share and subscribe if you haven't already. This has been Stretford Paddock Live. We'll see you in a bit.